Here are the winners for the 2025 draft as drafted by us. Chris, you're up.
I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers off the bat. I thought the San Francisco 49ers absolutely crushed the draft. They got back to a little bit what we talked about on Friday morning, their roots. This is what they were. This is when Shanahan and Lynch took over. This is how the team was formed. Bunch of badasses on the defensive side of the ball. Let's accumulate that. Let's kick the crap out of everybody else. They'll get over to the offensive side of the ball here, but Shanahan's awesome, and he can cover some holes over there with how he coaches and does that. Let's get this going first. Mykel Williams, big badass mofo off the edge from Georgia to start. Alfred Collins, big badass mofo from Texas in the middle of the defense. Nick Martin, our kind of guy that we talk about with the 49ers, linebacker, Oklahoma State, a little smaller, kamikaze, throws his body around everywhere. C.J. West, a great D tackle from Indiana who's really good, undersized, disrupt the play kind of guy. Got a wide receiver, got a running back later on in the draft, but I thought they did a really good job of addressing their defense and getting some guys that are going to help them out right away and into the future.
Plenty of teams trying to do what they can to support a young quarterback. I love what the Patriots did. Number one, the cupboard is still fairly bare from the mismanagement by the greatest coach of all time in his latter years as not the greatest general manager of all time. The Will Campbell pick, that was the guy they wanted. Short arms or not, he put Mike Vrabel on his ass at his private workout, which is just hilarious to both of us, I think, that Vrabel got himself in that spot. But if you can put Mike Vrabel on his ass, even as he's pushing 50, you got some skills. Travion Henderson, I was thrilled because we were talking last week about how maybe they should get this Ashton Jetty kid in there at number 4 and combine him with Ramondre Stevenson and make that the fuel to your running game that makes it easier for Drake May. Travion Henderson isn't that far down the list as top running backs go. Some people thought maybe he would sneak into round 1. So that was a great pick. And I know how you feel about Kyle Williams.
Come on.
And they get him in round 3.
Come on. I'm mad you picked them. I probably should have picked them first. I don't know what I was doing. I was trying to make sure I got all my teams there, but that would have been my next pick. I'm with you there. I mean, yeah, we got a Will Campbell, yeah, like you said, Vrabel, like just chip off the old block. Travion Henderson, certainly one of the most explosive guys in the draft on the offensive side of the ball. You couple that with Josh McDaniel, who's going to go, wait, in between the tackles, I got Ramondre Stevenson. Anything pass game, get out on the edge, watch out Travion Henderson. That's going to be a deadly combination. You know I love Kyle Williams. Yeah, I think he could be a superstar, especially with Josh McDaniels. He's going to know how to use him. And then there's a lot of other good ones. The Joshua Farmer, that Braden Swinson from LSU. I mean, they really had a great draft. They really did. It pains me to say it as a New Yorker, but they are on their way to looking like they're going to be a force of a team in the NFL. That's for sure. All right. Next one I'm going to go to, the G-Man. Yeah, baby. Yeah. The Giants. I mean, come on. Abdul Carter, right? And just the perfect way, he comes into town and goes, hey, LT, can I wear your number? And LT goes, hey, I'm a badass mofo. Get your own number, okay? Which I love, right? I'm hoping he calls Big Phil and asks him for the number, too. I wonder what Big Phil will say, because he did wear 11.
Because he wore 11
right.
at Penn State.
Right, so that. But I love Abdul Carter, best player in the draft, him or Cam Ward for my money. Jackson Dart, listen, I don't love the trade, but I'm still, hey, we got a quarterback if they believe in it. I wish they would have just sat there in round 2 and waited till somebody felt in them that way, but okay, I'm not mad at them for that. But it's the other picks. Darius Alexander is going to be able to start for them on the defensive line this year. Cam Scatterbo, I'm excited about him as a runner in the NFL and what he can bring. And then even the Marcus M'Bow later in the draft, who was a guy that a lot of people thought would go earlier. Good athlete, can maybe play tackle out of Purdue, but I'm a big fan of what the Giants did. Way to go, Joe Shane and Brian Daboll.
We were texting on Saturday about Scadaboo because I love the kid, and I think he brings the kind of intensity and mindset and competitive spirit that locker room would benefit from.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
right.
just one of those guys that is not going to take any deficit as an indication that it's over. He's going to keep going and going and going. Quickly for me, we talked about the Rams finagling a first-round pick next year out of the Falcons in that trade that the Falcons made to go up and get James Pierce Jr. I look at the Rams picks and I say, okay, where's the 2025 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year? because he's one of them. I mean, they've been doing such a good job, and they banked a first-round pick next year, and they'll have 2 first-round picks next year, and next year look for them to be team that tries to get their quarterback. No quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Stafford this year. I think next year those 2 first-round picks are going to become the next quarterback of the Rams.
I don't doubt that. I could certainly see that, and I know there's a lot of people that think the Giants traded up there because they were afraid the Rams were going to take a quarterback there in round 1. I don't think they were, but either way, the Giants played for that, and I'm agreeing with you with what you're saying with the Rams there.
One more round, the winners from the 2025 draft. Chris, who do you have?
I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears have been one of the teams that's won the offseason in general. They were one of the top teams in free agency. I don't know how you can't like their draft here. I know they surprised people with Colston Loveland over Tyler Warren. But, yeah, Colston Loveland's legit. He's in that class. There's nothing wrong with that. And as a route runner and the things he does, he fits a little bit more of how Ben Johnson would want to play. So I think it's a perfect fit there. But then to get Luther Burden in the second round, Luther Burden's one of those guys that I didn't have in my top 5 receivers, but if there's one guy I'm scared about that I was wrong in the whole draft process, it's him. He's got some DJ Moore, ball in his hands, unbelievable explosive ability. Trapillo, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, from Boston College, a big Taylor Decker type of offensive tackle. And then Shamar Turner, the D tackle from Texas A&M's a hell of a player. So they did a good job.
Last one for me, The Ohio State University.
Okay.
14 players drafted.
Yeah.
The champions flex their muscles a little bit, and we know how competitive it is now in college football. You got to be able to come up with the cash, but you also got to have the cachet, and they got it up the yin-yang, as George Costanza would say. They've got the players who are being sent to the NFL. So it's a 1 year at a time proposition now. You want that 1 year to polish things off like Quinshon Judkins did, coming from Ole Miss.
Right.
Go to Ohio State for a year. Boom.
Go to Texas.
Browns.
Go there instead.
We won't talk about.
But the Big Ten and the SEC dominating, Mike.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.